Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's raining outside, so you might hear that a little bit in the background, but I am finally filming my Q&A and getting it up for you guys. I'm so sorry it's taken a little bit of time. If you follow along on my cleaning channel or on Instagram, you know that I decided to actually just take a little bit of a break, and it kind of turned into 2 weeks and a little bit longer for this channel, I think, and I'm so sorry about that, but I am back to things as normal, and it just felt good to take a little bit of a mental break, and my kids were out of school, so I don't know, it was just nice to all be together and not really have to think about anything else. But now I'm back to it, and I'm so happy to be filming this for y'all. I had asked on Instagram if y'all had any questions for me, and I'm going to try to get to as many as I can. I know I won't be able to get to all of them, and then some of them are repeats too, but I remember looking over these questions back when y'all asked them, but I have not looked at them in a while, so here goes nothing. Okay, this says, what program do you use to edit your videos? I actually use iMovie. I have a MacBook Pro laptop, and I use iMovie, and it works really, really well. I have a lot of friends who use fancier editing software and all that. I don't really see a need for it at this point, but maybe on down the road I'll do something differently. But for now, I use iMovie. It's very user-friendly, super easy to use. This one says, would y'all ever consider adoption? And that's so funny because I actually had a dream last night that we adopted twin boys, and I would be so open to adoption. I think, you know, in order to adopt a baby, I feel like both husband and wife have to be on board, and Mark really wanted 2 kids and now we have 4, so I feel like it would be rocking the boat a good bit to try to like push him into adoption when maybe his heart isn't there. But we do like to support children, even if it's not bringing them into our home. We like to find ways to do that, but I think adoption is such a beautiful thing. What advice do you have for new YouTubers? So I'm gonna keep this short and sweet and to the point, because I know I message with a lot of y'all on Instagram, and I know this video is not about like becoming a YouTuber or anything like that. It's just about me and my life. But since I do YouTube, I would say if you start, be willing to put in a bunch of hours a week if you want to succeed. I work anywhere from 40 to 60 hours, maybe a little bit more now since I started a new channel. And then on top of that, there's Instagram and there's social media platforms that you're going to want to be active on because they all kind of relate. So I would say be willing to put in tons and tons of time. The biggest thing is just staying true to yourself. I feel like so many people start channels just because they see other channels succeeding that are in that same little niche. And I don't think it's the best idea. I would say if there's something you're passionate about, something you're good at, something you do all the time anyway, and you want to start a channel, go for it. That's why I started a cleaning channel. I feel like when I started, there weren't just tons and tons of people starting channels, but I knew that I loved to clean, and I knew that I was good at it, and I knew that my house was super messy because I have 4 children, and there would be tons of content for me, so I started it, and it's really become just a wonderful thing. But I would say stay true to yourself. Don't try to just start a channel because you know that's what's the hot topic right now, and start on a schedule. So when I started uploading every Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, that's when my channel really took off. I do not upload 3 times a week for the most part anymore on my cleaning channel because that is a lot, especially with my vlogging channel too. So stick with a schedule, stay true to yourself, and try to interact with your subscribers as much as possible. You can't get to every single comment, but just try to be there as much as you can. Okay, this one says, do you make good money on YouTube, and what equipment do you use? So I don't think you're allowed to disclose like exactly how much money you make on YouTube, and I know that's probably not what you're asking, but I can tell you that it is definitely a full-time income if you are consistent and you know your channel, you've grown your channel to a certain point, I feel like, or your videos are getting consistently good views. I know that when I first became monetized, I'd watch other videos talking about how sometimes it'll take you forever to get that first paycheck, because I think you have to have like $150 to get the first paycheck. So I was thinking like, oh, it'll take a ton of time. I made much more than that my first month of YouTube. So you can definitely make money in YouTube. You can definitely make thousands of dollars a month if not more if you're even bigger than that. So yes, it's for sure a way to have a full-time income, and it's wonderful. And then what equipment do I use? I'm filming on a Canon G7X camera. I have my tripod, which I think was like $30 on Amazon, and it's been great. I have my MacBook Pro, and there are a few little things I have, like a little stick for my camera when I'm vlogging, and an extra battery. I will say, if you're gonna film, you want an extra battery because it's gonna run out and then you have to pause what you're doing, and if you're like really in the zone, it's kind of frustrating. So definitely an extra battery. That's about it. I'm pretty basic. I don't have a lighting kit or anything like that. What does your husband do, and what did you do to have your house built? So my husband, just to keep things simple, because even when he explains his job to me, I don't fully understand it because that's not the kind of smart that I am. He works with numbers. He's an accountant for a very large company in Atlanta, and he does a lot of numbers work for them, payroll, tax, all that type of thing. He's very smart with numbers. And what did we do to have our house built? So we found the neighborhood that we loved, and it was in the process of being built up. I think we were maybe phase 2 in this neighborhood, and there were 2 builders at the time, and we went with the builder that one of our friends had gone with, who also lived in the neighborhood. We loved him, we still love him, and it was one of the smoothest processes possible, I think, from start to finish. When they broke ground on our house and when we moved in, it was 4 months, and it was amazing. And I would recommend our builder to anybody, except I'm pretty sure he's retired now. I think he retired after this neighborhood, which I don't blame him. What did you do before kids and before YouTube? So I went to college, and halfway through college, Mark and I got married. So I graduated from college in 2010, but back 2008 we got married. And then right afterwards, I think we were kind of on like the 4-year plan for having kids, but my heart just wanted them so badly, and I wanted to be a young mom. And you know, Mark, being the sweet person that he is, he fully gave in. I mean, it wasn't that hard to convince him, but we pretty much started a family right away. So I graduated, and then we got pregnant in August, like just a few months later, and had Ava in April. And I've pretty much had stair-step babies since then. So I've been pregnant for a really long time. I'm not anymore, obviously. So I went to college and all that, but all throughout college and after college even a little bit, I worked at Chick-fil-A, and I was a manager there, and I also waited tables. I did all kinds of different jobs within Chick-fil-A, but I finally ended up quitting when I got pregnant with Kate. So there were even times when I had Ava and she was a young baby that I worked at Chick-fil-A. But it didn't last too long because I knew I wanted to stay home with my babies. This one says, were you always a stay-at-home mom? And if not, how did you manage a job in a household? So yes, I did work when Ava was young. I took a little bit of time off after she was born, and then I went back to work. But I worked as a manager for the evening shift, and Mark obviously worked in the morning time. So we just ended up having an in-home sitter for those like in between hours. It wasn't ideal because I had her in the morning, then I took her to the sitter, and then Mark had her in the evening time, and we just kind of like passed the baton with parenting. It wasn't my favorite thing, but it was kind of good for me to have an outlet as a mom, not just staying home. I feel like I always have to stay busy or else I go crazy. That's one of the reasons why I started YouTube too. So it worked for that short period of time, but it wasn't super ideal. And how did I make it work? That was only with one kid, so it really wasn't too hard. Ava was the easiest baby. She slept through the night since literally day one coming home from the hospital. So it wasn't hard at all. It was actually really manageable. How long did it take you to make it big on YouTube? So I don't really think I've like made it big. I guess relatively speaking, I feel good. I feel really good with where I'm at. I feel really good with how hard I have worked to get to this point, but I haven't like made it big or anything. I will say, kind of like what I was saying earlier with the money and all that, I had no idea you could make as much money as you can on YouTube. I thought it was just gonna be a few $100s here and there. Like I truly didn't know, but it just makes me feel good, I guess, to find a creative way to earn money for our family, you know, to save for our children for their futures and to be able to go on vacations. And yeah, we could do all that on Mark's salary, but I love contributing. It's kind of what I've always done. I've worked since I was 14. Even before then, I was babysitting, so I don't know. It just kind of feels right for me. Why do YouTubers always wear socks when mopping? I find this very weird. I do not wear socks when I mop. There will never ever be a time that you see me wearing socks. I do wear house shoes sometimes. Socks freak me out to no end. I only wear socks if I have to when I'm putting shoes on. I don't know why other YouTubers wear socks, but it's not that weird to me. I mean, I don't know, because you can throw them in the washing machine. I don't know. It's an interesting question. Are you going to do more home tours? I cannot read today. Loved your last home tour and I would love to see more. Yes, I am planning on it, like when I decorate for certain seasons or holidays, doing some more house tours, or when we update bedrooms or, you know, switch things around, have a little, like, I don't know, remodel certain areas. I definitely plan on doing more house tours because my last one was so informal. I appreciate that y'all were so sweet and loving on it, but I was like all over the place. When can we expect a finished playroom video? 2024. Do you have a church home? Yes, we do. So we go to church very locally here. I think it's only like, it's like 12 minutes away from here. And we love our church home. It took us several years after we moved here to really get established in a church home, because we kind of like visited this church that was really, really big, but I grew up in a church that was really, really big, and I just didn't really want that anymore. I don't know if that seems weird, but I just kind of wanted a smaller atmosphere. So we found this church, and it's a perfect in-between because it's not a tiny church. They have like a wonderful children's program. We love our small group. We meet with our small group on Sunday nights, and it's just really good. I've made some of my closest friends through my church, and it's really wonderful. How old are you? I am 32. I turned 32 in September, so I'm like 32 and a half. Super serious, go-to order from Chick-fil-A. This is a very serious question. I would say a 3-count chicken strip meal with buffalo and ranch and ketchup, of course, and the fries well done, and a large Dr. Pepper to drink. For sure, my go-to order. What do you watch while you are filming? We always see your phone playing a video. So yes, I do. I feel like it's one of my best times to catch up with either my friends' videos on YouTube, or mostly I'm talking on Marco Polo. And if you don't have that, it's just an app that you can like talk. It's kind of like Snapchat, but for grown-ups. I just feel like I'm not cool enough for Snapchat. I have it, and I kind of use the filter sometimes just as a joke, but I don't know at all what I'm really doing there. So Marco Polo is just simple. It's literally, you just send messages back and forth to your friends. You can do one-on-one, sorry, it's a text. You can do one-on-one conversation with somebody, or you can have a group chat, and I'm on Marco Polo a good bit. It's just such a good way to keep up with people, especially the people that I've met on and through YouTube. One of these is in a different language, so I don't understand it, but I'll try to find out a way to translate that. How do you stay so motivated? By the way, I love your channel. Thank you. And I don't. I think the way that I stay motivated is I started my channel, and I actually started my channel for a couple different reasons. I wanted to keep myself motivated. I wanted to motivate other people, but I also wanted to take the pressure off myself, because before I started my channel, and even still the people who don't watch my channel, everybody thinks my house is always clean and it's just spotless. And I'm just like, it was so much pressure on me to keep that up that I finally was like, no, you guys, my house is a wreck 99% of the time. Like, it's only clean the second after I clean it, and other than that, if you pop by unexpectedly, which people do almost every single day, it's a wreck. And I've just finally gotten past the point of feeling all that pressure, because I'm like, I have 4 small children, and it's not going to be able to be spotless. It's just not. So I stay motivated like because of my channel, honestly, more than anything. Do you have a favorite kid depending on the day? So no, I really don't have a favorite kid. I mean, we all know Bo's a stinker, and he is such a mess, but like he makes me laugh so much. Like sometimes I have to hide my laughing because what he says is not the best, but he really makes me laugh so much. There's such good qualities in each of my kids that I don't have a favorite, but there's certain things I like about each one of them. I don't know. That was a lame answer, but that's just kind of how I feel. What ages did you have your kids and how many years are in between them? So I was 23, I think. Yeah, 23 when I had Ava. And Ava and Kate are 21 months apart. Kate and Max are 20 months apart. And Max and Bo are 16 months apart. Or 17? I can't remember. They're all very, very close together. When I had Bo, when I had my last child, Ava was still 4. So they're super close in age, and that's kind of what I wanted. I wanted to be done having kids by the time I turned 30. That was just what I had in my head. I don't know. It didn't have to happen that way, but it did, and I'm glad it did because I really wanted to be a young mom. I know some moms are much, much younger, but to me, having 4 kids before 30 feels young enough to me, but now I'm past 30, so. Will you ever get a pet? So we had dogs before Ava was born, and up until the point that she was like 11 months old, I want to say. And we found out she was like severely allergic to them. It's actually really sad. Like she has the biggest reaction. She sneezes uncontrollably. She's miserable. Her face turns red. Sometimes her eyes get swollen, and we see some of the same symptoms in Max, and it's only around certain dogs. So I would love to have dogs one day, but we're going to have to be really picky about what type of dogs because, you know, Ava is so severely allergic. So, and I also want horses, but we can't do that when we live on less than 2 acres. So we can't have horses, but that is a huge dream of mine for one day. Do you have a cleaning routine? I do not. I kind of talked about that in one of my videos. I feel like since I have a cleaning channel, I can't really have a cleaning routine. I know that sounds weird, but I don't know, I'd be filming like the same things over and over again. I feel like it would get boring and monotonous. Plus, y'all, it's me. Like, do you really think I have my life together? No, I do not. How do you keep your house clean when your kids are all young? I don't. I try really hard, but I should take y'all around in just a second and show you what my house looks like. I'm not going to, but I should. Does YouTube have certain songs you can choose for your videos? Yes, they do. I think YouTube has a library of songs that you can use for free, but you have to find a way to like reference them in your description box or something like that. But y'all, if you're looking for the way to go if you're serious about having a channel and having music, epidemicsound.com, there's nothing better. It's the best. You do have to pay a monthly subscription. I think it's $10 or $15, and it's all kinds of music, and you never have to worry about copyright issues, and I'm telling you, it's so worth it. How did you get to be such a great mom? I'm inspired to be like you. That is so sweet, and that truly, like, I don't know, makes me feel like teary-eyed because there are some days where I don't feel like a good mom, or I feel like I'm like falling short in certain areas, or I work too hard, or I didn't work hard enough, or I don't know, you know, when you're laying in bed at night, I feel like fellow moms will be able to relate to this, and you think back on like all the decisions you made throughout the day, and you feel like all you focus on is what you didn't get done, or maybe what you didn't say to your kid, or the things you said to them that you shouldn't have said. I can tend to be like that a lot, but none of that is going to make us a better parent. All you can do is wake up the next day and just try to do the very best you can. I try my hardest to speak to my children calmly. I would say I do a good job of that, like 85% of the time. Sometimes they frustrate me to no end, and it's hard to stay calm, but I just try to live with no regrets, even daily regrets, like laying my head on my pillow at the end of the night and thinking, oh, I shouldn't have said that, you know, those type of things. I try to make it to where I go to bed feeling happy about the way that I acted, because it is in your control. And that's what I think about all the time, is I can control how I react to my child. No, they might not necessarily do the right thing, or what they're doing might be frustrating to me, but I can control how I react to them. Plus, I'm a grown-up with so much more wisdom in my head than my children have. So it's a constant daily reminding myself who I am and what kind of mom I want to be, and calming down before I just have a reaction to them based on what they're doing. That was a long answer, sorry about that. How did you come up with the kids' names? So it was so random, all over the place. We love short names, and Kate's real name is actually Catherine, but you know, we call her Kate. Sometimes we call her Kathy as like a joke. Not that Kathy is a bad name, but it's not typically the name of like a 7-year-old girl. So we call her that for fun sometimes, and she like responds to it. It's kind of funny, but I don't know. It was like all these random different things. None of our kids are family names, except Bo's middle name is my mother-in-law's maiden name. So that's a family name, but other than that, we just kind of liked them. They were kind of short, catchy. They kind of all went together. So we just picked them. What is your favorite restaurant? So I don't really have, I mean, I love the Cheesecake Factory. Oh my goodness. Just thinking about that makes me feel so hungry. And that's like in between, not super fancy, not fancy. But I mean, as far as like my go-to restaurants, anything Mexican and Chick-fil-A just make me so happy. I feel like I might need to do like a separate one on all these YouTube questions because I've gotten so many, but I don't want to bore people who don't do YouTube or have no desire to do YouTube with all of these questions. So I might try to figure out another way to answer these questions, or send me like just a private message on Instagram. What branch of the Christian church do you worship? So I try not to like associate myself too much with branches. I know that sounds weird, but like at the end of the day, all I want to do is teach my kids what is true and what is right and what we believe is true and right. And that's everything that the Bible says. So we do go to a Baptist church, and I was raised in a Baptist church, but that doesn't mean that like I'm Baptist before anything else. Like all I know is that I love Jesus. I want my kids to love Jesus and put him before anyone else in their lives. And I want my kids to know scripture. And I know that we should love everybody. That's pretty much what we focus on. I don't really ever even think about the fact that we go to a Baptist church. So, but it is Baptist. What made you decide to have 4 kids? So like I said earlier, Mark wanted 2, I wanted 4. It was pretty much me that decided to have 4, and we did that. How long have you been married? This year we will have been married for 12 years, but that's at the end of the year. So we just celebrated our 11-year anniversary. This is like the sweetest question. It says, how can viewers better help YouTubers? So I'll keep this kind of short, but I just thought it was a really sweet question to ask. I would say, obviously, we love anytime y'all watch our videos all the way through. We love it when you give them a thumbs up, when you comment on the videos. Love that too. When you share our videos on any kind of social media platform you have, that's good too. But obviously the way that YouTubers make money is through the ads being played on YouTube. So when you don't hit skip ad, that YouTuber gets paid more. That's not the only way that we make money, but it is a good way. So those are some simple things, but I never try to shove that down anybody's throat. You can watch whatever you want to watch, don't watch whatever you want to watch. And sometimes the ads are just straight creepy or like political, and I totally understand wanting to skip them. How do you make time for you and the hubby? We only have 1 kid and we never have time. So it is definitely something Mark and I are trying to be more intentional about this year. In fact, we were just texting about trying to have a date night on Friday night. And it gets kind of frustrating because by the time you hire a sitter and go to the movies and go to dinner, it's like $250 easily. And it's not really like the most fun money to spend when you could just stay home and order in for like $30. But I think it's so important to find time for you and your husband or your spouse to have uninterrupted time. And even if in this season of your life it looks like putting your kids to bed and ordering food in or making a really nice dinner at home or a simple dinner like pizza, it doesn't matter. I think what's important, and Mark and I are working on this too, is putting our phones away and not having any distractions and just having conversations about our day and the things that we liked, the things we didn't like, our goals and our vision like for the future. We have conversations like that all the time, and Mark is like my constant motivator in certain areas of my life I want to improve on. He's always there. I've started recently like trying to eat better and work out, and we have kind of like an in-home gym in our garage, and he's always so good about like writing up plans for me if I want to work out, or just encouraging me because he knows I struggle so much when I can't have Dr. Pepper or I have limited Dr. Pepper. So I don't know, just being each other's biggest cheerleaders and realizing sometimes things in life are only for a season. If you feel like things are crazy stressful and busy and you don't have a ton of time with your spouse, like it's not gonna last forever. Sometimes it's just a season, but put your marriage first because your children are watching and they see, and everything they see in you as a couple is what they're going to expect one day in their future spouse, and you want it to be like the best it can be. I got a lot of questions about how you keep the romance alive. My kids have a set bedtime. I mean, it fluctuates a tiny bit, but between 7:30 and 8 every night they're in bed. And so Mark and I have at least 4 hours alone together almost every single night. Yes, sometimes I'm editing. Yes, sometimes I have girls' nights or he has guy nights, but we for sure make time for each other. It's really important to both of us. How did you and your husband meet? So he was really good friends with my manager at Chick-fil-A back when I waited tables, and he came in to eat and I waited on both of them, and I was like, who is that? And honestly, we've pretty much been together ever since. At the time I happened to be dating somebody, but that's okay. It all worked out and everything was great, and Mark was so patient with me, and literally there's not a man on this planet who is better for me than Mark. Like, he's just the best person I've ever known. How do you stay so calm when life gets a bit hectic? So kind of what I said earlier, I just try to live with no regrets, and like especially my tone of voice and what I say to my kids. But also when I have a clean house, I stay so much calmer. So that's another thing that motivates me to clean, is just knowing that after the clean comes like a clean mind and calmness throughout the house. Like, I know that sounds weird, but it just helps. So I guess staying organized and keeping your house kind of clean helps with that, but I'm not always calm. How do you cope with the feathers? I don't. I'm struggling. Where do you get your furry slippers from? The slide-on ones. All of my slippers, every single pair that I wear, and I have a ton of them, every single one of them is from Walmart, and they have the best. Like, they're so affordable and they're so comfortable, and I just love them so much. Oh, is your small group through your church or something y'all formed on your own? It is through our church. They kind of pair you with people who have similar aged children, or maybe the couples are similarly aged, and we have 6 couples in our small group right now, and man, what is it, like 17 or 18 kids? And the church provides childcare, like they pay the babysitters, which is really nice. So we have like a 2-hour break from our kids. We get to have our Bible study together, and we get to eat dinner together every single Sunday, and it is wonderful. Like, it's really, really good. Okay, like I said, I got a ton of YouTube questions, but I don't want to make this whole thing about YouTube, so I will try to figure out a way to answer those questions, or like I said, send me a message if you have any other questions that I haven't answered. And I'm sorry for the ones that I didn't get to today, but I feel like I've already been talking for so long, and my kids are about to get off the bus, but I appreciate you guys who have stayed to the end of this. I have no issues talking. That's just known to all, so I love you guys so much. If you have any other questions, you can either DM me on Instagram or you can leave them down below, and I'll try to get to everything. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye. You got me dancing in your storm, burning everything we know, dressing up as firefighters. You got me dancing in your storm.